Hello students. Today's video we will try to understand about lymphatic system, how it works. So when you study about blood circulatory system, we come across a fluid called lymph, and how it is transported in our body, and how it plays an important role in the functioning of our body and in transport of nutrients. So all the related aspects we will be discussing, but this is a small topic up to class 10th level in ICSE or CBSE. In India we find this topic to be a very small topic, but concept wise if you think, then it is an important topic to understand how it works and what are its importance. So let us understand this topic. Okay, so it is a part of, we can say, circulatory or the transport system we have. So lymphatic system, to make you clearly understand this, uh, I would like to draw the diagram of our double circulatory system so that it becomes clear to us. This is the heart we have. This is the wall of lower ventricles. Let us assume that this one is our lungs. So if I say the blood being carried through aorta to different parts of our body, this is our body tissues. Let us say the capillaries we have. These capillaries let us join there is a blood vessel which brings oxygenated blood from the lungs, we call pulmonary vein. Carbon dioxide rich blood being carried to the lungs through pulmonary artery. Now we will get an idea how our blood circulates. So before we try to understand and study about lymphatic system, let us quickly understand the double circulatory system that we have in our body. So let me begin from this point. If I say, let me call this point as A. So once the oxygenation of blood has taken place in our lungs, then oxygenated blood being carried to the left auricle, the blood then moves to the left, it is poured into the left ventricle, and then it is pumped to the all parts of our body through aorta. And when it reaches the body tissues, after getting divided several times into several thinner arteries, it reaches to body tissues. Due to pressure, it may escape. Some of the particles may escape, like smaller proteins or some salts, fluid that escapes, and once it has escaped into the intercellular space, we call tissue fluid. So the name now it will have is tissue fluid. And this tissue fluid does not remain, or it is not necessary for this tissue fluid to remain. So it will get collected by the lymph capillaries that we have. These lymph capillaries, they will collect and they will pour into the vena cava so that they are, I would modify this diagram. It will be poured just before it enters the right auricle. So now this tissue fluid, once it is collected by lymph capillaries, these are lymph capillaries. These lymph capillaries, they collect the tissue fluid, and once they have entered the lymph capillaries, the fluid inside the lymph vessels or capillaries, we call it as lymph. Now this lymph flows, and at certain intervals you may find some lymph nodes. Some lymph nodes are there, and lymph nodes contains lymphocytes, that is a kind of agranulocytes, white blood cells, and these are involved basically in defense mechanism of our body. They produce antibodies, they fight against diseases. So one of the major functions that here you need to understand about lymphatic system, that there are lymph nodes at certain intervals, and these lymph nodes will carry the lymphocytes. Lymphocytes are involved in defense mechanism, and then it enters the blood circulatory system. So this is the basic idea we have here about lymphatic system. Then the blood we were talking about. So the blood will be brought to the heart again, carrying high percentage of carbon dioxide. So it is called vena cava. Then it is poured into the right auricle. The right auricle pours further, contracts and pours into the right ventricle. Then right ventricle contracts, and the carbon dioxide rich blood is pumped into the lungs where oxygenation takes place. So we complete one circulation over here. Says this is not the topic where we are going to discuss, or we are discussing about lymphatic system. So we will just focus on lymphatic system. This is not blood circulatory system we are talking here. So let us summarize little things that we have learned about related to lymphatic system. First one, you could clearly observe the lymphatic system is composed of, you will find first one, that is lymph as the fluid. Second thing that we need to understand is lymph capillaries we have, which collects the tissue fluid from the tissues or intercellular space, which has escaped due to high pressure of the blood on the capillaries because of the pumping of the heart. Then third one is very important, lymph vessel, that is also there. Then fourth is lymph nodes. Lymph nodes, these are also very important, which are involved in defense mechanism. Second thing that we have to understand about this, that is blood filters out of capillaries and occupy intercellular space. Intercellular space, and now it is called tissue fluid. So this tissue fluid, when it enters, so when tissue fluid enters lymph vessels, lymph capillaries, it is called lymph. So what does lymph contain then? Lymph is a fluid which may contain water, it may contain lymphocytes, this is a kind of white blood cells, it may contain nutrients, it may contain some mineral salts, it may contain nutrients means all this is some proteins, it may contain some carbohydrates, it may contain some fats. These are the molecules that may be contained in a lymph. Now, based on our understanding, we have got it that there is unidirectional flow of lymph. There is unidirectional flow of lymph. That is basically, if you see, it is from body tissues to blood circulatory system. So this is one way. It is not forming a circulation cycle. And here if we are in a position now, suppose if you look at the figure how these are involved. Lymph is being carried from the tissue, enters the lymph capillaries, and then it joins the blood circulatory system. So it is unidirectional flow. There is not the concept that it circulates like blood. So what are the basic functions that lymphatic system has? That part is important to us to understand. Let us understand the functions of the lymphatic system. First function that you should understand that they provide nutrients to those organs where blood cannot reach. So this fluid being thinner and lacks red blood cells and all, and even larger proteins, this can provide nutrients to such body tissues. Another one, you must have heard about lacteals. Lacteals, if you would like to understand, on the inner wall of our intestines we have finger-like projections, and one of these has been magnified here. So at the center of this villus you will find a thick blood capillaries. This is called lacteal. We have a epithelial wall is there, but we have that lacteal. What is the role of this lacteal over here? This is villus. This figure is of villus. Plural is villi, but singular is villus. So this lacteal helps to absorb. This one absorbs fatty acids. So this is one of the important functions that it has. In our digestive system, when we study, we come across this term lacteal absorbing fatty acids and glycerol. And glycerol. So glycerol is absorbed and fatty acids. So this absorbs. Another one. We have come across the term lymphocyte. And these lymphocytes, they are involved in our defense system, in our body's defense system. Because these lymphocytes, these are a kind of white blood cells, and they produce antibodies. And you must be knowing that antibodies are the special proteins designed by our white blood cell. They are differentiated, they are specialized to fight against infections. Even the diseases, basically the bacterial diseases and some pathogenic microbes, when they enter our body, they are engulfed by these lymphocytes, because they have a special design like lock and key system. Antibodies remain in our body, they fight against infections. And even our vaccines which we take, they enhance our lymphocytes, they enhance our defense mechanism, they enhance the building up of more specialized antibodies to fight against infections. So these are the basic functions that we study in lymphatic system. So this is a small topic that we had, and we have covered this, and there even one more function that we have, we will be writing, that is very short but still. Just think that blood is flowing, and this space is tissue, and let us say some dead cells are there, some dead cells or wastes are there. So how will they be removed? If the blood capillaries are unable to take up these, then how are they removed? These wastes molecules, these are collected by lymphatic system, and they collect it and they pour or drain into blood circulatory system. And once they are drained into blood circulatory system, then our main organs, first liver, will break down those waste materials into simpler ones, so that kidney can filter, and then it is removed out of our body, removed out. So the process will be called excretion. So these are the main functions that we study. So I hope, my dear students, that you have understood about lymphatic system and how it works, what are the components, how it does, how it moves, and what all things are carried by lymphatic system. So thank you for watching my video, and in our next video we will be talking about taking up some other important topics of interest in biology. Thank you so much.